A lot of the times we feel pain in our temples and then behind our eyes and our frontalis in our face. It's coming from our suboccipitals. Little muscles attaching onto the top of our cervical spine essentially helps us with extension. When we're here too often, working away, they just get so angry. Today we're talking headaches. So I'm doing a video here with Ninj. I'm gonna focus on some muscles that may be contributing to your headaches, yeah? The tension, the trigger points that build up. A lot of the time, it resides in our tension, in our upper traps, our suboccipitals, our rhomboids, and our lower traps, the tug of war between those muscles, all right? So what I'm gonna start with is just like a little bit of a treatment. This is what I would do for somebody who's got a headache, right? Hydration is key, and hydration is in our fascial system. That's our irrigation system. It's hydrating our tissues. So I'm gonna debunk the fact that drinking 4 liters of tap water a day is not going to hydrate your tissues. And I'll show you after this video, you gotta stay to the end, and I'll show you what I mean exactly by that and how we can quickly find an antidote to fix your headaches, all right? So stay tuned. So to begin with, we're just doing our opening sequence. Don't even really need any wax. It's actually hot out here, we're in the sun.
Sweat.
And yeah, the sweat's, it's good. What do we call it? Perspiration? What is it?
Yep.
Perspiration. Yeah. Perspiration. So I'm just gonna use that. And what I'm doing is, a lot of the time with our headaches, our upper traps feel like they're in our ears and the tension's coming around into our temples or up into here, or feels like a vice clenching our skull together. So upper traps, what we're doing is I like to go a little bit of neck there with my last finger, my pinky, and then I push down, yeah, and work into that upper trap and really hydrate it. And just go slow. Like the direction of my stroke isn't really moving, it's just the tissue sort of like falling underneath and away from it. So I'm getting levator scap, again, a muscle that attaches onto our upper trap, comes up into our neck. So when we're thinking of headaches, trigger points are what's going to be causing your tension headaches, right? So our trigger points are basically blood vessels that have become stagnant and stuck in the tissues, right? They become adhesive to one another, and we find these little trigger points all the way along. So I found one here in Ninj. I need to not use a shadow, but I'm just gonna show you with my thumb. It's a bit shit without it. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to do it. Yeah, there. So if you come over here, Leo, with our thumb, I'm just gonna focus on this little guy here. So pinning that and melting those adhesions are what's gonna get the blood vessels pumping through the blood, pumping through our tissues and essentially getting to where they need to go, right? If we've got a blockage in there, essentially it's like having a blocked down pipe. There's a down pipe for you there, showing you what you mean. Yeah, if that's blocked, that's gonna, the water's not gonna run through there. The same way the blood doesn't run through our tissues, and therefore we get pain. That pain resides in headaches and comes out in dysfunctions of our movement as well. So working into that is easy enough. So key spots here. This is our lev scap and our trap. Another way to do it is get my elbow, and this I love, just softly coming in and then getting pressure. Like the broadness of my elbow is enough pressure to take away some of the pressure that you're feeling in your skull and in your head. Yeah, headaches are a nasty thing. We've all suffered from them, right? I was doing a little bit of research, and what do you take when you got a headache? Panadol, right? Or drink water. That's usually what we do. Some of us, and my clients, are clever enough to go, I've got a headache. I know it's related to how tight, how stressed I'm feeling in my tissues, how many trigger points have built up in my neck, etc. So, and our fascia. So Panadol, right? They don't even know, the scientists, the people who, the doctors, the surgeons, anyone that prescribes Panadol, they don't even know how it works in our body, right? So essentially there's a couple of theories. One is they think it releases a chemical in your brain, can't remember what it's called, but we can get that up, that heightens your pain tolerance. Okay, so meaning, you know, if I've got a low pain tolerance, I'm going to mask that with a Band-Aid approach by taking something that essentially makes me less triggered by pain. So can't be good for us long term. Obviously has an effect on our nerves, because if you are taking Panadol for a long time, the ends of our nerves are going, like our nervous system is going to be clouded by our sensations and our sensitivity, because the chemical that's released in our Panadol is released in our brain is now influenced by something that's telling our body that, yeah, I don't feel as much pain because my pain threshold now has gone up. So avoid Panadol. Do get in here with a foam roller, a massage ball, or a trigger point ball, or book in a bodywork session. Stop sitting back and waiting for it. The reason we get tight in this area as well is, office workers, our postures, the tension that we build up in this area because of how long and weak these muscles can be because of our postures, but also how short and tight they might be from the exercise that we put our body through, which is great. We want to keep moving, but sometimes we need maintenance. You got to take the car over the road to Brams and get a service. Our body needs a service too. If you haven't taken it in for a service and got a tune-up, and your body's sending messages to you and it's coming out in a headache, that's like having a light on in your car. It's going tire pressure, or you take me in for a service, whatever it might be, engine failure, whatever, low in oil. I'm obviously not a mechanic, so I didn't know the jargon there. But pain, it'll start as, I can feel something in my shoulder blade. My neck doesn't rotate that much. There will be early signs and early signals going off before it comes out in a migraine. The migraine, or the really tight, clenching headache, it feels like it's in a vice, that's probably a few weeks of your body suffering. All right, so upper trap, left scap, and I did a little bit of rhomboid through that scapula there as well. The next one is feeling the base of the skull, working the fascia. So I'm on the bone, I'm on the skull, going nice and slow, because sometimes we feel trigger points in the base of our skull and in our fascia that covers this area. And then I come in this way, which my direction of my thumb and pressure now is sort of up and towards the opposite ear. And then I fall off that nice little cliff face that we've got there, trying to not give you any shadows, and then push in and up into that. And this is our suboccipital. A lot of the times we feel pain in our temples and in behind our eyes and our frontalis in our face. It's coming from our suboccipitals. Little muscles attaching onto the top of our cervical spine that essentially helps us with extension. When we're here too often, working away, they just get so angry, hey? Yeah, and those blood vessels turn into trigger points, refer pain into our head, and we end up with tension headaches. So a really simple way is just massage that out. So it's not so much massage, it's more cleaning that out. So focus on the sore points, pin and hold, melt down those adhesions, those build-up points. Really easy one. And we do a thorough job working this whole, like if you've been a headache sufferer, and there's chronic headache sufferers, they've had them their whole life, right? You're gonna spend a good amount of time at getting every little spot, but the parts that you feel like need it, and do an effective and a thorough clean out of that area. So I like to also go close to the cervical spine, right in there, and then come in and do that. And then what you can do with that is double thumb. Sorry, Ninja, I'm going a bit firm. I'll ease off.
You're right.
And then move around the base of the skull. And it's like getting a really good broom and cleaning all the leaves off the floor, off your backyard or your deck, whatever it is that you're cleaning, making sure you're getting all of it rather than just going back and forth 50 times. Do one big one, one big effective clean along that skull. You can also come in here and work down into these little spots here. starting to have a little bit of a feel of splenius capitis and cervicus and these other little muscles that come into our neck. We've got our C2 transverse process there. Can work into that, have a little bit of feel of those nodes and nodules and bony landmarks and try to get those moving a little bit and just pin them. Yeah, and getting a good relationship and good understanding with your client to practitioner is connecting with them, trusting that they trust you. They're going to go, oh, that's where my headache is. Oh, that's the source. Push into that. So having a little bit of a feel through there, coming through the upper traps and releasing that whole section. And one more spot, which I did before, but I didn't speak about it, our rhomboid. Our rhomboid can refer pain into our TMJ, right into the side of the face, into our jaw. So pinning here, tightness in our rhomboids, I reckon that's like number one, like spot where we accumulate that pain in between our shoulder blades. We're always trying to like foam roll or crack or get a little massage. It always feels great through here. Get the elbow, pin it, scoop it away, work it out towards the scap, whatever you need to do. Just be understanding that your pain is more than like, your headaches is more than likely coming from the health of your tissues and the trigger points build up in them. And yeah, much like the health of your car, engine in your car, got to look after it. Thing is, we get to just trade in our car and sell it and move it on when it breaks down. You only get one body, got to look after it. So I've fast-tracked this version. I'd go more into the head, upper traps, do the other side. But if you're at home and you're following along, have a go at releasing those areas. Otherwise, I'm going to show you what I mean by hydration as well. So follow me. Where are we? Just going to turn this off. Okay, so Celtic salt. Natural salt, basically. Himalayan salt. I'm not going to use the tap water because that's full of shit. But if our tissues aren't hydrated, so electrolytes, this is the best source of electrolytes. It's natural, it's grown from the sun, from water, from the earth, from the air. Essentially every day. The issue with drinking water and flooding your kidneys with tap water and flooding your liver with tap water is osmosis needs to happen, which essentially is how the water gets inside the cell, how the cell gets inside the water and it delivers it to the muscle, right? We need that permeable cell to happen where it allows the water to get in. And the way to do that is salt. So not table salt, which is made in a lab and it's not natural. Yeah, we're always going for natural stuff. That's a heap of salt, that's fine. Don't be afraid of salt. Good natural salt. It's got potassium, magnesium, sodium, all the things all the minerals that our body needs, yeah? This will help cure your headaches. Under the tongue. Move it around, just wait for it. We're salty people, don't be afraid of good quality salt. Get it in you on a hot summer's day like today, or you're saunering, or you've been playing sport. It's really important to get those electrolytes up. How's your headache going? Good,
oh,
fixed.
Feeling good, fixed.
Didn't have one, did you?
All that salt.
All that salt. Oh, I've still got more in my mouth. I put so much salt in my mouth.
We are conductive beings, aren't we? Salt and water, pretty much all we are. So we're electrical. So yeah, you need to make sure the flow of electricity can happen throughout your whole body, your cells, your fascia.
Well, the unfortunate thing is we've been told our cholesterol levels and things like that. Is it cholesterol? Yeah. Stay away from salt. Don't eat high salty foods, you know. Blood thinners, these types of things that we're put on is because we're eating processed salt, table salt made in a lab. Don't be afraid of natural salt. Himalayan salt's a good one as well. Pink salt, sea salt. We're salty people. Our blood's salty, our saliva's salty, our urine's salty. We're salty people. And 90% of our body's made up of water. So if we're getting good quality water and good quality saltiness, we're hydrated, our tissues are functioning and nice and smooth and working over one another, then yeah, we're probably more than likely not going to have headaches.
Another little thing is when you go to hospital and they put you on a drip.
Oh yeah.
What do you think they're doing? They're pumping salt water into you. That's what they're doing. Even when you got had a heart attack or or got cholesterol, whatever the problem is, they're putting salt water into you, and that fixes you.
Yep.
How about that?
Yeah.
So yeah.
There you go, guys. Have a go at releasing those. Book in. See one of our practitioners if you've got a headache. Geez, I need to finish this video. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you soon.
Done.